how can you use your personality and write a wonderful essay in UPSC exam? How can you be a differential factor itself in terms of writing answers? That is what we'll be discussing by taking a sample essay in terms of writing an answer in UPSC. You see here, most of you, while you prepare for the exam, the essay, it is often one of the neglected, but according to me, it is the most important one in the sense that it can show your personality, it can reflect your personality, and this is one of the thing which is very, very close to my heart, right? So I would take, in the last video I have discussed about how to how to prepare and write an essay. So I will take some sample essay and I will try to help you to understand how to write using your existing knowledge and also as a differential factor. Now you see this topic. Courage to accept and dedication to improve are two key things to success. Just pause the video for a minute, read this topic. Courage to accept, dedication to improve are two keys to success. Before you try to follow this video, I want you guys to pause, think about what you wanted to write, and focus on those aspects, and then evaluate with what I'm trying to teach you. Okay, so now you see here. Naturally, there is a body which you all need to follow. Introduction of an essay, body, conclusion. There are various methods to start an essay, right? You can talk about with current affairs, you can talk about some context, you can talk about the same things, posing questions. What do you mean by courage? What do you mean by dedication to improve? What do you mean by success? How can we achieve? Like that, you can frame some questions, posing questions method, and then also you can start writing an essay. There are wonderful methods of writing an essay. For this topic, I wanted to start with some story because I want you to think about and develop some some storytelling as part of your writing answers. You see, stories. There are differential factor. Number of people can write so many things, but I want you guys to think, and I wanted to show your personality here so that it becomes very, very easy. You might be a wonderful avid reader. You might have read wonderful novels here and there. You have followed some sport. You have followed some movies. You have followed some wonderful personalities across the world. You can use whatever it is. It all depends on what are you as a person. Now you see, for me as a avid cricket fan, definitely the cricket in me doesn't go anywhere. So definitely I want you guys to show about the cricketing skills here as an introduction. You wanted to show some other stuff, it's okay. You can start with whatever you want. Okay, so for example, I wanted to say it was 2014-15 era. The world is still not yet ready for Sachin Tendulkar's retirement, and post retirement, India is waiting for a leader to be born, right? Waiting for a face. And it was then Virat Kohli wanted to be aspiring to be the next best cricketer, but there are some kinds of failures and some kinds of shortcomings which he has identified. So he has the courage to accept his shortcomings, that he wants to be the best cricketer, best sports person. So he needs to improve his fitness. He needs to improve his work ethic. He needs to improve his way of eating. So he has the courage to accept his failures, and he is extremely passionate about dedication to improve. So what is and he has changed his lifestyle, changed his food habits, and you see right now, from a cheeky Delhi boy in before 2014 and to the present era, where he is one of the most right athletic person and also a best sports person. His success talks about courage to accept and dedication to improve. You can precise this story about one thing and tells the essence of the story. What is the essence of the story? For you to achieve success, you should have the courage to accept your shortcomings, and you have to be dedicated to improve of towards a person what you want to become. Courage is, after all, identifying the gap between what you want to become and what you have those skills. That is what is the essence. You can talk with that. You can talk with so many other things. Then, how will you expand into various diverse things in your body? As part of the connecting things, as you write, you can say, let us discuss about these things in various facets, and you start writing about in various diverse aspects in multi-dimensional thinking, I would say, multi-dimensional aspects. You see, I will tell you how you can show your skills here. For example, we all study every subject, no? History, ethics, geography, environment, disaster management, polity, economy, agriculture, whatnot. You bring some of the success stories here as an individual, what you have as individual sports persons, as the country, as the society, as international relations, what varieties we have. We can talk about all these things as part of our body of the answer, isn't it? For example, I'll tell you. History. You gain some examples out of history. One example I can say, Ashoka. You all talk about Ashoka, how he has stopped war after the Kalinga war. He has the courage to accept that this is not working, and he is willing to improve as an administrator, as a leader. So what did he do? He advocated peace, and come after that, at least for next 200 300 years, there is good amount of success in terms of having peace. So what did he do? Courage to accept that the present war is not working, and as a leader he is willing to improve. That is what is the final aspect. You can talk about Bhagat Singh. He started about Hindustan Republic Association, but he realized that it alone will not be is not sufficient. So he has converted into HSRA, Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. So to achieve the desired results, you can start with whatnot, right? You can also start about with our own freedom struggle. Look at what do you mean by our freedom struggle? You have multiple leaders, indicating that we as a society and the leaders, they are willing to go for multiple paths to reach the final destination called as freedom, right? You need not explain. This is the broad parameter, no? Whether it is the moderators, the moderate era, whether it is the Gandhian era, whether it is the revolutionary era, whether it is the conflict between Subhash Chandra Bose and other people, you all can talk about that. Ultimately, as a freedom struggle, we have the courage to accept and dedication to improve to achieve the desired result. You are having sociology as your optional. You can talk about Indian sociological aspects, how Raja Ram Mohan Rai and all the other things, social reforms, what are they thinking about? They have the courage to accept, and they are willing to make the people aware about the need for courage, for self-awareness, for introspection, awareness generation and all. And they have led by example, whether it is about widow remarriages and everything. And they are dedicated to improve. And you have seen how we have eradicated to a significant extent of social evils. Talk about that. You bring your knowledge which you are gaining through your optional, through your vast opportunity of, see, UPSC preparation is your opportunity to understand the world in various facets. Use that knowledge itself in writing essays is one aspect which I am trying to tell you, right? So that is definitely very, very important. And then you can keep on adding. For example, 1999, look at our disaster management. A cyclone in Odisha has caused around loss of 10,000 people. And you see here, over a period of the next 15-20 years from that point, we have improved on our disaster management abilities, be it in terms of forecasting, be it in terms of providing the cyclonic shelters, being the technological aspects, community awareness, naming of the cyclones and all. What did you do? As a society, as a political administration, we had the courage to accept our mistakes, and we are dedicated to improve the existing systems to achieve the success of disaster management. Green revolution, courage to accept that our food production presently is not supported and we are very willing to improve. Come food famines have been solved. That is the success of green revolution. The same thing you can also utilize the opposite way. But the same success is no longer sufficient. There is a need for second green revolution. There is a need for going away from the cultures which we have got out of the green revolution. You talk about that. We need further courage to improve the existing green revolution, and should have the dedication to improve to achieve a second green revolution. You can talk about that also, counter argument like that. If you are an economy, you can talk about our economics. Look at our economics, 91 reforms, our struggles before 91, post 91, how we are trying to be a better economy. That is also a success story, dedication to improve. You wanted to focus on our health, educational outcomes. You talk about our education. You can say how there is a courage to accept, dedication to improve, right? You see here with respect to the recent protests at the Jantar Mantar and all, you can see how education has become a point of discussion. Now, if the society and if the leaders are having the courage to accept that education is need to be improved, and if that is an acceptance and we are willing to identify the root causes and identify the shortcomings of what as a country we wanted to become, and you wanted to improve, be it in terms of money outcomes, learning outcomes, dedication to improve, we can see as in India as a wonderful educational country over a period of time. You can talk about like that in any aspect, no? Sociology, anthropology, whatever the knowledge you have gained, you can diversify in those aspects, right? Say, for example, in our parliament, the freedom fighters and whatever the constitution they have drafted, they have given the opportunity of reforming the constitution so that we always have the courage to accept according to our times and dedication to improve. You can talk about that. You can also talk about the counter argument of how you can use it for these aspects for further growth, right? Be it in terms of 2047 Viksit Bharat scenario, how you have to identify how there is a need for accepting the courage and dedication to improve. You can talk about that. You can give wonderful examples out of that, right? These are the things which I want you guys to think. You can talk about so many things. You can talk about the counter argument. Another counter argument, I would say, one of the reason why climate change, global warming is happening is we are not having enough courage to accept in terms of solving the problems of climate change, and that lack of courage to accept is helping into continuing the challenges with respect to the climate change shortcomings. So there is no dedication to improve. That's where global warming, climate change, there are some shortcomings. You can talk about that. You can talk about our poverty, education shortcomings. So all these are the body which you can write with respect to how it is needed and how it can be needed for further targets, and how we can also talk about counter arguments. Now you see multiple dimensions. The way you are linking these aspects, the way you are representing, the way you write is what will give you marks, right? So like that, I want you guys to think about what is your skill, what is your learning, what are the aspects which you can do, and you can always get more and more aspects. Okay, this is what I can tell you. Then conclusion, you can give a positive way, say maybe you can end with a quote: arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is achieved, as per Swami Vivekananda. You can talk about that. You can end with a quotation also, nothing wrong in it, right? So what I would be trying to tell you is understand the nature of introductions, whether it is, unique newspaper reports. You can also develop some newspaper reports on your own, right? You act as a journalist. You can develop some newspaper reports. That also you can start, and you can say you develop 3-4 newspaper reports and say that these reports suggest that this is what is the shortcoming. Ultimately, the idea of an introduction should be like a trailer. It should tell the gist of what you wanted to write. So you can talk about those things, write wonderful things. You can talk about developing some stories. There are some methods of writing also. You start with a conflicting story, contradictory story, two stories, and you end with a story in such a way that for this person to achieve this, this is what he need to do. For example, you take two scenarios here. Virat Kohli, you can give an example. You can give another emerging budding player, maybe not from reality, but for some other thing. You can remove, so you can create a fictional character, but he could not achieve the story because of certain problem. You can say so. Maybe don't plug fiction and non-fiction. Maybe you make it both as a fictional character. Don't talk about Virat Kohli. You talk about some other person as a success story and some other person as a failure, and you connect them with respect to here that for this person to become, this is what he need to do. You can end with that way also. So negative introduction and converting that same thing into a positive with these things. That's also a method of introduction and conclusion clubbing, right? You can talk about those things. Still, there are so many aspects. Uh, the the other one, which is my favorite, is along with stories, is posing questions, generating questions, and solving it over a period of time. Critical thinking, right? That you can do. You can give some context. You can give some current affairs reports. It all depends on what is the essay and everything. You can focus on all these methods of introduction. Then body, diversify with respect to your subjects of UPSC, diversify at individual level, family level, society level, national, state, national, international. You can talk about that, right? You can talk about another thing, temporal approach and sectoral approach, the body. Temporal, sectoral. What is temporal? Start with time, since the ages to the present era. Sectoral, across different walks of life. You apply the same thing across business if you have, sports, across musicians, anything. Multiple dimensions. Temporal and sectoral approach, you can talk about that. And conclusion, why do you think that I have told you that you can show your personality in essays? You can show this as an identification of how you wanted to change the world, because you are giving the you are actually writing an exam for getting some power to change the lives of so many people. You can actually show what is your strength, how the world you are willing to have it, and how you are willing to develop it with a practical sense of approach. That is what an essay gives you an opportunity for. Hope you all have understood how to write, how to think. You can all note down whatever I have discussed and try to practice. And if you have any doubts, there is a link given here. There is a number which I can give you here. You can always contact me if you have any doubts with respect to in your essay preparation. So I have given the number. You can contact me. Okay, rather I would give my number here also. You can use it and help me to. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Right. Thank you, all of you. Take care. All the best. Always keep smiling, keep learning, keep moving forward. Thank you, all of you. Take care.